Hope you're all doing well. Let me see something. I'll check the audio. Um, Good. Okay, it's working. That's good. Let me go here. Okay. So I hope you're all doing well. Let's just see what comes out. It could be anything you need to know. It could be for whenever you happen to come across this reading, whether it's you watching the live or the replay. Let's go with the Revealing the Truth Oracle deck. See what you need to know at this time. What does the collective need to know at this time? This reading's for the collective, so it's may not resonate with everybody. Some of the messages may resonate. None of them will. They may apply to people around you because we are privy to other people's energy. It pervades into ours sometimes, depending on how close the connection is, you know. Let's see. What do you need to know at this time? Let's see what comes out. This is Tan from Artemis Oracle. So I'm happy to have you here. If the message resonates at all, or you just like my vibe, please feel free to like and subscribe. Let's see what comes out. Okay, the first card we have is electronicization. I hate this card. I don't know how to say that word. Data backup digital. To me, this is about some sort of it's digital. Let's see what comes up. It could be data backup information, essentially. It could be digital information. If you have a hard drive, if there's information that you need to back up, you should start doing that now. Especially if you're prone to filling up hard drives but that's the bonfire. You know what I'm thinking now? You know how this is so random. So this is so fucking random, but like be careful with those lithium batteries. The ones that are for like scooters, electric scooters or something. Just be careful with that because I don't know, I just thought of this and it made me think of a fire starting because of somebody. Hello. Hi, how are you? So I don't know, just be careful. Like if you have electric scooter, anything that can be charged electronically that has those lithium batteries, be careful with that because sometimes, you know, fires do happen because of that. Okay, now we have the trash card. Waste worthless mouse. So that has to do with, you know, now when I think of this card, it just makes me think of somebody who is just allowing their life to go to the wayside. Like they have no ambition. They're just possibly in bed all day, just rotting away, maybe imbibing, being reckless in some way. Maybe feeling like worthless, like it says worthless. They're fine as okay. Ooh, okay. Somebody, I'm not going to say you because I do not want to project this out to anybody, but there may be somebody that's experiencing issues with their finances, maybe going to collections, not being able to keep up with bills and stuff like that. And that's what's causing some sort of stress. I know like when people go through financial issues, they want to escape from it, you know, and they may get involved in escapist behaviors, sometimes doing drugs, drinking, or whatever, maybe possibly gambling. And this is why someone is experiencing some issues with their finances. Maybe electronic gambling, like gambling on apps and stuff. I would say beware of that. Those things I can imagine are addictive because if social media is addictive and playing video games or games on your phone is addictive, I would imagine playing gambling online or gambling on your phone would be just as addictive as well. I think also this may be a call for some of you to start backing up funds, saving money. You know, I would suggest that if you need to get records, like of your finances, like financial records for any reason, I would suggest you go, if you know, do digital banking or anything, download your bank statements, look at your statements, make sure that all the charges that are on your credit card or your debit card, they're accounted for, if you know what I mean, just to make sure that everything is going good. And that no one is using your funds without your permission. I don't know, this is so random because I just thought about like somebody just, you know, freeloading, like somebody who isn't doing much with their life other than freeloading off of you or off somebody. Let's see what else comes out. Guard, protect. You know, it says guard, protect, escort, teach, and then rest. Pause, journey, new beginning. Okay, some of you are going to have to start protecting yourself, start protecting your peace. If you're experiencing some sort of stress or overwhelm, anything, like if there is issues with finances, maybe there's somebody living with you who, it could be a roommate, it could be a family member that's like freeloading off of you, not contributing to bills, basically living off you rent free. That it could be that. But if you are feeling the need to protect yourself, put your guard up, you know, try to find some sort of relief from this issue. You know, you may need to cut somebody out of your life, or you may be needing to establish some sort of boundaries, letting them know whatever behavior they may be exhibiting and not being helpful. If they, you know, could take it as a resonate. It could be somebody around you, you know. We all know bums, you know. We all know people who are bums, who just freeload off other people and don't contribute. They take. They don't give, you know? So it may be a need for that. Take a break from this person, establish some sort of boundary with them. Let me see what else comes out. Hello, I'm from the United States of anxiety. Thank you, Avinash. I hope I said your name right. I cannot tell you your future, Avinash. Don't you know you're supposed to pay for that, you know? This is a free reading. Let's see what else comes out with the revealing the truth. Anything else need to come out? Two cards came out. Interesting. Let's see how they come out. Oh, okay. We have torment and commitment. Anxiety, bondage, depression, troubled, and commitment, oath, agreement, pledge, and promise. When I see this card, it just reminds me of someone who's feeling alone, lonely, isolated, alienated, abandoned in some way, and then commitment. Maybe somebody is wanting commitment, but they feel like whatever connection they're dealing with, you could take it as a resonance. It could be you, it could be anybody around you. Like I said, we know bums, we know people who don't want to commit either, you know, so someone may be feeling out of place, like they don't belong, being tormented by whatever may be going on in their mind, but it could have to do with a commitment, and commitments don't necessarily have to do with marriage or relationship. It could be with subcontracts. There may be some sort of contract, promise, pledge, agreement. You know, maybe there's something that's coming back around that's causing anxiety. Maybe somebody signed something and they're now having regrets, and they're not having to face the consequences of it. And I did mention earlier about drinks. People that may be feeling depressed and not feeling like they're worth anything, maybe in getting involved or escaping by drinking or doing drugs or something. But it says liquor, coffee, tea, water underneath, and then nothingness. Yeah, so I was just talking about escapism. Look at that, nothingness, run away. Somebody is trying to get away from something, you know. They're trying to escape whatever torment, whatever stress, whatever commitment, something that they probably feel bound to. Something that they probably feel bound to. And that it seems like they may not be able to get away from it. With get away, keep away, give up. If some of you like are in a situation where you feel like you have to, that could be what's going on too. Like you have to protect yourself from, if this could be personal, like maybe somebody's going through a difficult time. Like I mentioned, finances are not going well. There may be some sort of agreement that may be coming around that's causing someone to feel like, I don't know, like when I think about this too, it's like regret. It's like someone has regret. Maybe someone regrets committing to something, committing to someone, you know? Maybe somebody feels, like I mentioned, bound to an agreement that hasn't really brought anything, but probably stress, the need to protect and guard oneself, the desire for someone to escape, run away because nothing is coming of a situation, whatever it may be, whether it could be work. You know, you may sign a contract, somebody may sign a contract and bind themselves to a job that doesn't really fulfill them in some way. I mean, this is very general, but it just seems like someone is tormented by some sort of commitment, either because they committed to something that doesn't really align with them, or they're wanting some sort of commitment. But there's definitely escapist behavior with the drinking card here, with the alcohol. Because you see these cards, they're kind of negative. If you think about it, they're negative. Nothingness, it's like nothing's coming of a situation. Death, meaninglessness, erasure, forgetfulness. Maybe someone feels like forgotten. And I did mention abandoned, isolated, alone. That could be someone in a relationship and they feel like that within the relationship and they have regret. They feel, possibly someone feels like they're stuck. But I think the most important thing is like, and it depends on the situation. And we're talking about people who are not in abusive relationships because that is very complex. There's a lot of trauma and psychology that comes into those types of dynamics where someone cannot easily walk away from a relationship, you know? But if it's possible for certain people where it's easily like they could set up some sort of boundary or guard up for themselves, and they're doing so because they want peace, rest, peace, journey, new beginning. They want to move away, cut away what isn't serving them. There could be somebody who's trying to work on improving whatever difficult situation they're going through, just so that they can reestablish some peace and stability in their life, especially if it has to do with finances. Okay, I'm gonna. Where's the finances card? That goes together. All right. Yeah, something needs to be released because it says letting go at the bottom of the deck. Surrender, open, give up, release. So maybe if it's a romantic relationship, a romantic bond, or some sort of bond. It doesn't have to be romantic. It's so funny. Look, when I split the deck, look what card was there, running. And then we have the runaway card. See, running away, running, and what's this says? Influences? Let's see what it says. Influences, attachments, third parties, peers. And I was talking about bonds, cutting a bond. I mean, like, if you have to do that, and I know personally how hard it is to disconnect for somebody that you have very strong feelings with or strong connection with, because when you're like, say you're with somebody for a specific period, like you spend a lot of time with that person, they become part of your routine, you know, talking to them on the phone or messaging or even seeing each other face to face. It becomes part of your daily routine. But then when you have to remove yourself from certain situations, it's like you're removing a part of your routine that has become very vital to just, you know, is a part of it every day. It's like I was gonna say it's like something about I was gonna say use the bathroom reference, but I don't think that's a really good one because I don't think that's a good one. I would say like like every day you drink coffee and then one day there is no more coffee. You're going to feel a certain type of way because you're so used to it. You know, you're used to the taste of coffee, of the experience of having coffee, the way you feel while, you know, like after you have coffee. That it's the same thing where you have a connection with somebody and then you have to cut the bond or you have to sever ties with them, you know, because it's now you got to create this new normal for yourself. It's kind of like when we went through the pandemic, you know, we had like this, I hate this stupid, unprecedented times. I wonder if anybody remembers when they would say that. During these unprecedented times, I'm sorry, if you look at history, unprecedented is a very strong word because we've gone through difficult times in the past, but I digress from that. But I'm just saying that, you know, like when you're with somebody, you spend a lot of time with them and they're part of your daily routine. When you have to remove them, extract them from that, then it's like you have to create a new normal for yourself, a new routine that doesn't involve that person, you know, where you're no longer talking to them, you're no longer seeing them, you're no longer being in each other's presence. You know what I mean? Okay, so we're gonna go into the Love Oracle deck. I hope I know I made sense. I know I made sense. Anybody who knows, knows. If you know, you know. It's that type of thing. Okay, let's see. What does the collective need to know at this time? Thank you so much for liking and stopping by. My name is Tan, and this is Artemis Oracle. I'm a tarot and oracle reader. I appreciate you spending time with me. Okay. Let's just this collective. Ooh, soulmates. Deep love, unity, connection. Okay, tell me more about the soulmates. Tell me more about the soulmates. I'm curious, do any of you believe in soulmates? Do any of you believe in soulmates? Ooh, okay. Oh, wow. Past life. Deja vu, repeated patterns, karmic lessons. I do believe in karmic relationships. Spying, social network information, ways. Seems like somebody's watching you. Releasing, letting go, moving on, walking away. And beginnings, try again, new direction, start over. And it's funny that I was talking about like how you feel connected to somebody, how they become a part of your routine. And when you have to disconnect, but also detach from them physically, energetically, you had to have that. You had to create this new normal for you. It's like a new life for yourself, a new beginning for yourself. So and this is before these cards even came out. And anything could have came out of this deck, you know? Look at the bottom, it says curse, hex, witchcraft, negative mind. Okay. So soulmates, past life, spying, releasing, beginnings. Okay, so it seems like there may be somebody that, someone may be dealing with a soulmate that they may have experienced in a different lifetime. I'm not sure how people feel about like reincarnation. I know in India, and I could be wrong, in Hindu religion, and I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know if Hinduism is a religion or it's just a spiritual practice. But I think they believe in reincarnation. Like I said, you could correct me if I'm wrong. I don't mind being corrected. I learn. I'm open to learning. Soulmates, past life. So if the past life thing could be like somebody from another life that you were with. You know, it could be romantic. Soulmates doesn't necessarily have to be a romantic. They could be family, they could be friends. But past life, deja vu, repeated patterns, karmic. But I'm reading, this is a love reading. So this could be somebody from another life, in another world, another planet. But it could be somebody that you've known in the past when you were younger, where you had a different lifestyle, you know, because I feel like we have past lives in our current life. And what I mean by that is like we have different stages of our personal evolution where who we are now isn't the same person we were like maybe 10 years ago or 20 years ago, you know? So it could be somebody that you've known from the past. But or it could be very like if you believe in past life, it could be that too. So this is, you gotta take it as it resonates, you know? So it could be somebody that you've released. And you may be off on your journey trying to create a new beginning for yourself, create a new routine or just a new life for yourself. But someone may be watching, you know. But the curse card is kind of concerning, but because some people believe in curses, some don't. But I feel like something's being hidden in the cover of night. Someone may be having some certain fears. Negative mind is also included in this card. So it could be somebody has negative mindset and something that they keep secret, that they keep hidden with obscurity. It could be that sometimes you have these somebody can be having negative thoughts at night. But then I have the 1 day card. When I think about this card, it reminds me, it's how I feel about this card actually. It's like something may not happen right now when I want it, but one day it will, when it's meant to happen. So it's like, I think it's about a matter of keep maintaining some sort of hope, because if you had to move away from a soulmate connection, however it resonates with you, however you want to label it, because everybody has their personal ideas and beliefs. But if you had to walk away from a connection, there could be the fear that what you want, you will never get. But this is like saying one day it can happen. You know, don't let your negative mindset get the best of you. New beginnings are unknown. You never know what's going to happen. But here, fantasize, daydreaming, imagining, fantasizing, it makes me think about visualization. You know, sometimes you have to visualize the things that you want and imagine exactly how it would feel if you had it. And that's where the hope can come from, you know, because you're experiencing these emotions that we feel. We can generate them just by the types of thoughts we have for ourselves. So if some of you or anyone around you, there could be somebody that's having a negative mindset, but it's like a matter of them looking at the bigger picture, looking at the bright side of things instead of looking at what didn't work out, you know, because all these cards are in black and white, you know, even the soulmates and past life card. But when you look at the beginnings and releasing card, they're in color. So it's like whatever happened in the past happened in the past. But it's like whatever has yet to be experienced, it's going to be different, or it's just going to be, because I'm thinking about colors now. And I'm thinking about vibrancy. So it's like some revitalization, energizing in some way. When things are in black and white, it's usually because there isn't any light to illuminate it. So you see a lot of shadows and stuff. But when you're entering like this new beginning, there's hope. You know, the dawn of day, the light of dawn of day. That's what's coming. Like, I don't know why I'm saying this weird shit. It's coming out like that. But it's like, don't give up on hope, because whatever it is that you want is on the other side of this new beginning. If you experience something with this relationship. Okay. That is so interesting. Now what else? Okay. Been on for 24 minutes and I have less than 20 minutes because my break ends. Okay, let's see what tarot has to say, and then I'll connect the tarot cards to any of the oracle cards that came out. So, what is the most important person? What is the most important message for today's reading? I'm not shuffling well. What is the most important message for today's reading? What's the most important message for today's reading? It's funny because I see the Six of Swords. Someone is escaping conflict. Someone who may have been causing trouble. Someone's moving away, going towards peace, possibly even running away. Someone has turned their back on something. Oh, wow. Look at this. Something very disappointing, heartbreaking, something painful. So depending on how this resonates, someone experienced a lot of grief and sadness in a connection. The freaking Three of Swords came out again. Yeah. So like, and I looked, you look at this card. Where is this? The Torment card. Look at this. It's isolation, loneliness, feeling abandoned. You see how she's holding herself? It's like there's no comfort, there's no love. Someone could be reliving the past and then also reliving the emotions from the past too. And I say that because the Three of Swords, thoughts, ideas, memories. Somebody could have even learned something that was disappointing. Ten of Wands. It's like someone has been burdened, you know, has experienced some sort of burden in a connection. Maybe it's emotional, mental burden. Okay, I got the Six of Wands with Temperance card. So someone's trying to, like if someone, like I mentioned, like somebody had to run away, get away from a situation, escape essentially, to find peace, to center themselves, to ground themselves, to integrate oneself. That was the word I was trying to remember yesterday. Integrate, you know? Because when we go through like certain relationships, and then some of them may be karmic, they teach us lessons about ourselves. They remind us of things, and I'm saying this because of my own personal experience, and I'm pretty sure people can resonate with this from their own experience when it comes to relationships. And even your experience with dealing with people. Sometimes we have trauma from our past, and then we could be dealing with people, and they may trigger us. But then they trigger these wounds that we forgot we had. And then we have to go through the process, the shadow work. We have to go through the process of understanding, healing, and then integrating whatever lesson we learned, just so that whatever that trigger was, it no longer affects us, right? So it could be that somebody has gone through a burdensome situation that has broken their heart, has been sad, but it's like they're taking the lessons that they've learned with the Ten of Wands, even though it has been some sort of burden. It could have been a burden on their mind, because I see a lot of clouds in the background of this card, you see? The clouds represents confusion, a lot of thoughts, ideas. And we do have the Hex card showing up with negative mind. So negative thoughts, negative belief systems. It could also be secrets that have secret triggers, secret fears, that are coming to light and that need to be dealt with. And then once anybody starts to work through it, they can move forward victoriously, and find happiness, you know, find success, find whatever it is that they want for themselves. But sometimes you can't run away from these things. These are things that you have to face. Let me see what else comes out. The Magician. So this is about manifesting, having all the tools you need to create the desired outcome you want. And if, you know, having a new beginning, and it could be with anything, but when it comes to this is a love card. You know, you get to decide what your new beginning includes. Like I mentioned earlier, some of you may have experienced a situation where you had to walk away from somebody, you had to release them, because it wasn't fulfilling you in some way. You know, you had to walk away from a connection that you felt deeply you felt deeply connected to somebody. You know, you had some sort of bond with them. But then there's this need or this understanding that you have to know how to protect yourself, you know, and to do that is to walk away, you know, is to move away from a situation. Where was the card? that basically a situation that wasn't amounting to anything. You know, I'm trying to look for the card that came out. Because the letting go, releasing, moving away, walking away. Some of you maybe have run away, you know, possibly even ghosted somebody. Because maybe there's something that you found out that just turned you off, it just hurt you. And it's like now you're like thinking, okay, now I'm learning how to heal. It could be somebody, it doesn't have to be you per se, but it could just be somebody has to learn how to heal, to integrate the lessons so that they can move forward and go towards whatever desires they long for. But in order for you to really use the tools that a magician has properly, you have to be like whole. You don't want to be fragmented in any way. You know, fragmented in your thinking, fragmented in your feeling, fragmented in your actions, or even fragmented with your material resources where you are in lack. You are in a lack, you know, and sometimes that lack doesn't necessarily have to be like monetary. It could be also how you feel about yourself. Because sometimes we could we could be involved in situations that we shouldn't be, but we think it's okay because of how we feel about ourselves. You know, some people have to go through certain lessons to understand that they deserve better, that they deserve someone who will, you know, match them in whatever it is, you know. And it could be like I mentioned, like somebody may have a roommate or family member living in their home who is freeloading off of them and not contributing. So it could be also that it's like getting rid of this person that's causing stress and getting rid of them, like you have them move out. And hopefully, I mean, some of you may have signed some sort of lease that kind of binds the person to living in that place, in the home with you, like you can't easily evict them. Side message. Oh, Ace of Wands is about a new beginning. So manifesting a new beginning, you know, manifesting growth, manifesting, you know, prosperity, passion, happiness. You know, this looks like a bonsai tree, but I never seen a bonsai plant with flowers on them. I never seen that. I remember my old boss, he had a little bonsai tree. It was so nice. That may resonate with somebody. Maybe some of you are gardeners. I want to say some of you want to manifest, you like want to reroot, like reground yourself, but I'm thinking more like you want to move away, go somewhere new, have a brand new beginning somewhere new, and put down roots. So some of you may be wanting to move. You may be moving away from a situation, or just you could be moving home, moving house, wanting to set down roots, but somewhere totally different. That could be something you're manifesting for yourself. Knight of Wands. Okay, so it's like you want to direct your energy, your actions towards something that's going to bring you growth, that isn't going to stagnate in any way. You know, it's like looking for or going towards that spark of hope or spark of passion, or using that spark to start some sort of manifestation, start taking action. Because I mean, certain manifestations do require action. You know, if you want an apartment, you can't wish for an apartment. You have to start applying for apartments. You know, that's not how manifestation works. You know, sometimes, you know, like you say you want to move, right? And you're like, oh, I want a specific house or whatever. And you start looking and looking, or sometimes you're not, you just could be walking and then you see something. It's like, wow, that's exactly what I want. That's how I have experienced manifestation, because sometimes I have a thought and then I'm like, oh, I'm looking for this. I would like something like this. And then I will go shopping and then I find exactly what I was was looking for. And the thing is, I go shopping, not thinking that I'm looking for that specific thing, but I just happen across it. So it could be something like that. That's how manifestation could work. You could have a thought, an idea about something, and if it's aligned with you, the opportunity may arise. It may come up. And that could also have the same thing. That's the same thing that can happen within love too. It's just like, you can't really, what is, you know, like that oven, that rotisserie oven that they had the infomercials, set it and forget it. I don't know if anybody remembers that from the 90s. They had like that big turkey that was like rotating and stuff. And then it was like, you just set it and forget it. Manifestation is kind of like that, you know? There are certain things that you have to do. Like if you want an apartment, you have to apply for an apartment, right? You know, but you may like be walking like, oh, wow, there's an apartment available. Then maybe apply, you know, just because you had the thought, you know, however it resonates with you. I'm just giving you examples of things that have happened with me, you know, not the apartment thing, but yeah, the apartment thing too, that happened with me. But I would say that it's about using whatever tools that you have at your disposal, whether it's your intelligence, it's your finances, it's your desire, it's your love, using that, directing that energy towards things that you want to have new beginnings in, you know, where you can put that energy towards. Like I said, sometimes it just comes, you get the opportunity, and then sometimes things requires effort on your part. But it's about making sure that your effort is being directed towards exactly what you want and not being wasted on things that don't really align with you or you really don't want in the long haul. You know, it's about being honest with yourself too. Okay. Anything else? Okay, I have 7 minutes left. Anything else the collective needs to know? I'm already thinking about another deck I could use. Let's see. Yeah, I'm gonna go into another deck. Oh, look at that. In the bottom of the deck is the star. It's about a wish. And she looks like she's doing some sort of ritual to make her wish come true. But it's also about healing, taking time for yourself, healing, pouring into what you care about, putting your energy towards the things that you care about. And I think the most important thing that any human being should care about is themselves, honestly. And I don't mean that in the egotistical way. I mean that where you're not compromising your happiness for anyone else. You know, you're doing what's right for you first before you compromise or make sacrifices for other people. You know, sometimes some of us, we can make sacrifices, but other people aren't willing to do that. So you got to be careful who you make those sacrifices for, because you don't want to be making sacrifices for someone who ain't going to do the same for you. It's not fair. So let's see what messages we get. I'm going to finish this reading off. I thank you so much for stopping by and liking this live reading. I appreciate you so much, and I hope you're having a great day wherever you are. This is Tan from Artemis Oracle. I'm your reader. So let's see. Can we get 3 cards? Can we get 3 cards, please, Spirit? Oh, Lord of Jesus. I'm going to go like this. 3 cards, Spirit. Oh, we got the soulmate card coming out again. A chance meeting. Didn't I say if you don't look for it, there's an opportunity may arise? Okay. See? My cards don't lie. Well, I don't lie. I am as honest as I can be without like telling you too much about myself, you know, because I'm a Scorpio. I like privacy. I like having privacy. As much privacy as I can, but it seems like that's a luxury for only rich people. Oh, crap. Okay, we got 3 cards. Okay, the first card we have is yes, soulmates. They're your soulmate. Open your heart to the unexpected possibilities. It will be the right time, a chance meeting. So take that as a, oh my God, I was talking about this. New love, cut cords with old flames and clear the way for new love, September. So this could be what, Maybe you met somebody in September and they may become your new love, or you may meet somebody in September. Your birthday could be in September. Their birthday may be in September. It could be anything. It could also be fall season. It could also be they're a Virgo or a Libra. Take it as it resonates. I know some people are from India. If I don't know if anybody from India is still here. So if I believe you have Vedic astrology, so September will most likely be what? Virgo and Leo? You could correct me if I'm wrong. And no, rebirth. Going through a dark night of the soul, the space between who they were and who they will become when you're in a relationship. So I feel like when you have this new beginning, it's going to be not only a rebirth for you, it could be a rebirth for whoever this new person can be. But if you do meet somebody new that will be a soulmate to you, there may be at this time going through a dark night of the soul. They may be experiencing some sort of trauma. Michael, if it's BS, then you could swipe away. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. And so anyone who's gone through difficult times where you felt isolated and alone, like you're hopeless and you didn't know where you were going with life or who you were or how things were going to turn out or whatever, that's what dark night of the soul is. So it's basically like being in depression, like a deep depression, a deep unknowing, not knowing what's going to come on the other side of something that's unfamiliar to you. You know, it's a healing journey in a sense, and it's one that someone takes on their own. Sometimes you need a therapist to kind of guide you through the process, but it's not something that it's made public. It's something that people, I don't know, some of you may know people that tend to like retreat and need time to be alone, and then they come back and then they're like, oh, I was going through something. That's what a dark night of the soul is, you know, is the person like reestablishing or regrounding or remembering who they were, you know, having to heal, you know, do whatever work they could do on their own or with whatever help that they were. But that could be what may be going on with a future love. That could be you if you're going through your own dark night of the soul, you know, with the temperance energy showing up. You see this, the darkness here, and then trying to get to the light, trying to get to the where the light, basically, where there's hope, where you can be optimistic, where you can see things clearly rather than from your emotions or your anger or any confusion you may be experiencing. It's being clear-minded, also clear-hearted, you know? So some of you may be meeting somebody of September. September may be your birthday, their birthday. It could be a zodiac sign that's in that month. I said Libra and Virgo, but it could also be Virgo and Leo, depending on what astrology you subscribe to. So this looks good, but I feel like the most important thing is to make sure that you're okay, taking care of yourself, disconnecting and detaching yourself from people, places, or things that are not serving you, releasing any old habits, releasing negative mindsets. It could be the cross watcher that needs this as well, you know, so it's whoever this resonates with. Because the most important thing is that we reach this point where we could be at peace, regardless of what situations we may be experiencing. And sometimes we need to create that peace for ourselves. You know, I think we're in control of our own happiness, you know, no one else. You know, that's our job. Our first job is to make sure that we're safe, we're happy, and we're loved. And the first person that needs to love you is you, okay? As long as you love yourself, you will always be loved. So I'm going to end it there. Thank you, Darren, for confirming Virgo for me and agreeing. I hope everything works out for you, Jennifer. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a great day and a great weekend ahead. I'm sending you lots of love and light. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me. Take care. Bye.